There's two major topics for right angle triangles. There's Pythag and trigonometry. Orally, how are trigonometry and Pythagoras different? So, they're both right angle. So I'm going to put RA for right angle. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And this one's to do with sides, and this one's to do with sides and angles.
But you usually use it when you want to find an angle, right?
For trigonometry, you could be given an angle and a side,
And I need to find the other side.
the other side, or you can be given
But you
two
always
sides.
have an angle, or you had an angle, or you're looking for an
Yes,
angle.
exactly. Sarah made a really good point. With trigonometry, you always have an angle or you're looking for an angle. You always have an angle or you're looking for an angle. Another important thing is, if you're trying to find the angle, what's the last step always going to be? What's the last step always going to be if you're finding an angle?
What do you mean the last step?
So, let's say we've got a problem like this. And let's say this is 3 and this is 5. I'm going to use SOH. So what I would do is I'd say sine of the angle is 3 over 5. What would be the last step to solve for the angle? What would be the last step to find this angle?
You have to do sine minus 1.
Excellent. So if you are finding an angle, the last step is always inverse sine, cos or tan. The last step is always inverse sine, cos or tan. Are we following this so far?
Yes.
Recap M3, M4. Now, we have something called a non-right angle triangle. There are 3 major formulas. Can you copy these down? Please, can we concentrate?
Yeah, sorry.
Thank you.
Miss?
Yeah?
The non-right triangles use the sine, no?
Yes. Or the cos.
Or the cos, okay. Vale, venga.
La T.
Here is the cosine rule. This is the sine rule. Can anyone remember what's the difference about when we would use the cosine and when we would use the sine rule? Yes, Hugo.
When you got like crosses.
Crosses, excellent. So Hugo's remembered something important that I've taught before, and this is the following. For the sine rule, you will have, let's say, an angle and a side, and an angle and a side, and basically you will have 2 pairs.
The opposite side, no?
Yes, the opposite. If you have 2 pairs where you've got to find one of the 4 bits of information, you will use the sine rule.
Okay, and the other one?
The cosine.
The cosine is when you've got an SSS triangle or an SAS triangle.
What does it mean?
What?
Oh, you have a side, an angle, and a side.
A
Is that what
side,
you do cosine or what?
this is for cosine. When you have a side, an angle and a side all clustered together, you will use this rule here.
So when you don't have the opposite thing.
When you don't have the opposites.
Just
When you
use the
don't
cos.
have the opposite matching pairs, you'll use the cosine. There are 2 different types of cosine. There's the starred formula and there's a heart formula. If you've got to find the angle, it's for a
So you have
side,
all
side,
the sides,
side.
but you don't have any angle?
Yes, you use
And-
this formula.
Okay, wait, I wanna.
She wanna.
This one is
Do you want me to just say one more thing about it, or are you still copying something
Yeah,
down?
I'm still copying this.
Okay,
This I don't.
I'm going to re-explain it, okay? So now you've had a chance to copy it down, I am going to re-explain it really clearly, so can you please listen? There are two fundamental cosine rules. These are both given to you in the exam. However, you have to know when to use both of them. There are two fundamental triangles. There are some exceptions because, Alexandra, can you stop talking? There are some exceptions because you could be given the two angles at the bottom and you could use that then to find the angle at the top. If you don't want to be here, just leave because you're annoying me talking. So if you'd like to find the missing side, which you get when you've got an SAS triangle, you go for this one. And the reason why is because the side, which is a lowercase letter, is isolated on its own. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So you have two different types of letters, Nikolai. You have lowercase letters and uppercase letters.
Yes.
A lowercase letter means that you want to find the side. If you want to find a side, you're going to have a triangle which has got a side angle and a side, and you'll want to find the side opposite it. You'll want to find this side at the bottom on the black line. If you want to find an angle and it's a cosine triangle, Nikolai, you will be given three sides, and therefore you have to find the angle. The angle is capitalised here. So then, to find the capital angle A, you do b squared plus c squared minus a squared divided by 2bc, and then the last step is to cos inverse. The key thing I would do is label the one you want to...
What do you mean by cos inverse?
Cos inverse is like we talked about here. So if you want to get the angle on its own, you've got to take the sine, the cos, the tan to the other side, and then it's sine to the minus 1, cos to the minus 1.
Put sine
tan.
minus 1 into the whole
Yes.
thing with the sine minus 1.
Yes, so if you...
I'm looking for an angle, I put minus 1.
Yes, always. That's the last step.
Oh, okay.
And the reason why, Sarah, is because you want to take the sine from the left side of the equation to the right, and when it moves, it becomes an inverse.
So when you get
And do you want me to do a couple of examples on the board of that?
Yeah.
First thing you need to do is draw a sketch. I would then randomly label these A, B, and C. Doesn't matter how big or small your triangle is. The length of side AB, that's A to B, 85. The length of side AC is 110. The angle between these two sides is 50. Now, 55. Thank you. Very on point there. Find the area. Now, I go to my formula booklet and I write half AB sine C. What's the problem with this formula and the way that's labelled? Can anyone tell me?
You don't have C.
You don't have C. So what I would recommend you do, and this is the easiest way, is to change the labelling of the triangle to match your formula. You want to find capital C. So I'm going to change this to capital C.
Miss, you know C is the only angle you have there.
Yes.
So yes, it's still fine. You don't need to rearrange.
So you don't need to do it for this one, but for the more complex formulas, like this one and this one, you might get a bit confused unless you really label your diagram. Of course,
But
for
then
this one,
then the lines measurement doesn't.
then it doesn't link to the question, so that might confuse you. Another way you could do it is relabel the formula. You want to find the angle at A, so we're going to call it sine A, which means you switch the C with the A, the A with the C, and the B stays the same. So you can either switch the diagram or switch the formula. Please do one or the other. What'd you say?
We don't have the side C, do we?
We do of the original one. We keep with the original lettering.
Where?
A, what did I call this? B, C. Side C is 85, side B is 110.
So you call that side C? I would have called
Because
that
it's opposite the angle C. Capital C opposite the angle C. That's side A opposite the angle A. That's always the case. You must know that. Is that all right? So then we substitute into this formula. Half 85, 110 times sine 55. Yes, this is easy. Perhaps you need to draw a diagram, but You might be given a question where you're given these two angles and you have to add them together and take off 180 to get this one. I'm going to give you a minute or so to copy that down, and then I'm going to carry on with part B. Right, I'd like to go over this as quick as possible because we've got only 26 minutes left, and I do want to go over circles, more on this, and then Pearson Spearmint. Now, it's... Yes.
I thought, like, because the line needs to go from A to D,
Yeah.
that I thought it was gonna be.
So it says that it goes, a farmer would like to divide the field into two equal parts by constructing a straight fence from A to D on BC.
So I think on the middle of B and C, straight line, just like going on top of the angle.
I think Siri.
Excellent. So it's in
Not
the,
like that.
this is how it goes.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Yes, and then I didn't know what to do.
Okay, I'm going to show you what to do next step now. So when it says find BD, what it's asking for is the
Right.
length. Yeah. In another question, it could ask you for the equation of the straight line, but we want to find the length. So the first thing we're going to do is calculate BC. Ugo, how are we going to calculate BC?
You can just use sine rule. No, cosine rule.
Cosine rule, absolutely, because it's a SAS triangle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the cosine rule, and because I want to find a side, I'm going to do a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a. Does that make sense so
Yeah.
far? Because I want to find a, luckily this is labelled a, so we don't need to change the formula in this one. This is going to be b and c. It doesn't matter which way you label it. We're going to get 110 squared, 85 squared, minus 2 times 110 times 85 times cos of 55. Do you agree with that so far?
Yes.
Yeah, then you type that in your calculator, you get a nice long answer, and then last but not least, you need to then square root. Already, why are we square rooting? The reason why is because this is a squared, and we want to get a on its own. So we need to work out what this is, and then when we get this long answer, we square root it to get 92.7 to get rid of this square. You're looking a bit confused.
No, I get it.
You get it now. So then our final answer would be to say our length between B to C is 92.7. But we want to find halfway through. And the reason why it's halfway through is because this line cuts the triangle in two. So all you do is you take the 92.7, you divide it by 2, and that's 46.4.
Yeah, but that's the middle part, that's not the length.
The question's asking you what is the length from B to D. So what we've done is we've worked out BC, and then we've just halved it because this line's cutting this bit in half.
I was asking the length of AD.
If you look at the question, it says
Yeah, no.
find BD. So you need to identify where D is, think what side it's on, work out BC, then you can work out BD. That's not too hard, is it, for 9 marks?
No.
That is going to be, I don't know how many marks in a paper.
It says 6 marks, we'll take 6.
It is 9, 3 plus 6.
I don't understand where you got the AD bit from, because
Because it's equally divided by 2.
It says it's equally divided by 2.
Yeah, that's the only thing I
To
understood.
a straight line, and it's on
Like,
BC,
I don't understand
so
why
it's
you
on
use
the
this
middle.
formula.
that's too much. This isn't math anymore.
Okay.
Why have I got to read an English paragraph?
The paper's a lot harder than that.
This isn't
Yeah, it is hard. You do need to.
crap.
Okay. That's 9 marks out of 80. That's about 10% of the paper, which is good, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
Hope the paper, final paper is like
Paper
that.
1.
I hope it's like that.
It's not. That's about the easiest question on them. Right. Nikolai wants confirmation as to why I've used that formula.
Because
Because you can use the formula with the 3 S's as well, because of the 3 sides.
No, we haven't been given the third side.
Yeah, but we've solved it in question A.
We didn't. We found the area in question A.
Yeah?
Yeah? Do you understand now? I'm going to go through each of these keywords one by one. We have a circle. The distance around the outside is called the circumference. The radius is from the centre to the outside. The diameter is what, Sarah? What is the diameter?
The whole thing.
The whole thing, across the whole thing.
Yep.
Now, there are some different words here. Now, perimeter, arc, sector, segment, they're all slightly different.
Arc is that thing.
It's the curvature.
Yeah.
Yes, arc is going to be the curve. A
Sector is like a pizza thing.
Excellent, well done.
And perimeter,
And perimeter is the whole thing.
size of the
Inside,
outside.
no?
Size
Okay,
of the outside.
I'm going to tell you now why.
I could point to it. It's like the whole thing. But
Okay,
it's
the
difficult to
perimeter
The
would,
line.
is linked to the circumference, but they often ask you to find the perimeter of a segment.
tell.
Yeah, but you look for
could say
that
the
thing, not the
Say
arc.
again? Yeah,
You look for the arc in the perimeter.
and then you add the two radiuses.
Yes.
Yes, that's how you find the perimeter. So, here are the key formulas. To find the circumference, this formula is given to you. The arc formula, it's given to you. What is the
What's perimeter?
perimeter? Is the distance around the outside. Circumference is a type of perimeter, but the perimeter is going to be used in this question to find the perimeter of a segment. A segment is a section of a circle.
Es la línea que hace el círculo.
Ujú.
Eso es la longitud que tienes el perímetro.
Sí.
Luego, si te dicen que lo tienes que encontrar de un sector, lo primero que haces es...
Es como area of a circle, ¿no?
No, el área no, es como... Haces el triángulo que hacen los sides solo.
Sí, el tamaño.
El tamaño, pues eso. Y si te piden como un sector que es como el trozo de una pizza,
Sí.
coges el arco, primero measure el arco y luego sumas los radius.
Thank you, Sarah. So, the key thing with the perimeter is if you had a sector, please stop talking. We've got 17 minutes and we will not bother doing Spearmans, and that's what Sarah really wants to do. If you wanted to find the perimeter of a sector, Nikolai, this formula is not given to you. So please can you watch? Nikolai, this is the circumference or the outside the circle.
That's for the perimeter?
Yes.
That's the formula for
Miss, but okay, yeah.
But this is not always the case. It's the case for this particular example, and I'm going to explain why. If you have an angle of the whole circle, the arc, the curvy bit of this circle, Alexandra, stop talking. The curvy bit of this circle is going to be a fraction of the whole circle times by the circumference 2 pi r. That would give you the curvy part, but to give the whole perimeter, you'd have to add on one lot of radius, which is here to here, and another lot of radius. That's why we add on two
on
radiuses.
On the exam, they can give you that sector.
And they say find the perimeter.
Okay, and would they give us the angle?
Yes.
Okay, so we put the angle divided by
360 times by 2 pi r.
So we do the arc thing.
You do, if the angle's 30, it'd be 30 divided by 360 times 2 pi r, and then you need to add on the two straight sides, which would be r and r, so it would be
So
adding
just
2 r.
So just using the arc formula and adding the
2r.
radius.
Yes. So this plus 2r is not given to you in the formula booklet. You have to know with your eyes, well, that's the arc, that's the curved bit, plus two straight bits. Oh, I need to add on 2r. So that's what, so normally if you've got a sector, that's what the formula is going to be for the perimeter.
Okay.
Are we all following this so far?
Yep.
Yes.
Wow, complicated.
Area is exactly the same thing. Remember, I've got about 4 videos on circles on my YouTube channel.
The area and the sector.
The area is very similar. You use a
Yes,
different
yes.
formula, but when you're finding a sector, again, it's just a pizza slice of it. So you do the angle divided by 360 times the sector. All of these formulas are given in the exam booklet.
Yeah.
All of them are given,
Yes,
The one on it.
not this one.
except perimeter.
Yes, this one at the bottom is not given in the formula booklet, and I do go over.
The segment doesn't.
No, this is not given. I'm going to show you what the segment looks like. So the segment is when you have a circle like this, and it asks you to find this at the bottom. A segment is like an orange segment.
Okay.
And it's like the little outside bit of the circle. And the way you find that is, first of all, you find the sector, which is the pizza slice. Then you minus the triangle, and then that will give you the curved bit at the bottom. So the first thing you do is find the sector, then you minus this triangle, and then it will give you the segment at the bottom. I have got a full video on that kind of question. That formula is not given to you. You have to be able to transform it into a sector minus a triangle to give you the segment. Do you want me to go over an exact question like that, or do you want me to keep going?
Can you repeat what you said about
Yeah.
the segment?
So the circle,
Yeah.
you can find something called a segment. A segment is like an orange piece. It looks
the thing that you
cut off at the end. If it joins with a straight line here, it's made of two things. The first thing it's made of is a sector, which is a pizza slice. And then with the pizza slice, you're going to minus the triangle.
Okay.
So if you took off the triangle off the pizza slice, you're going to be left with the segment, which is the bit at the bottom. We know the formula for the sector. We know the formula for the triangle. You just have to know to minus this one from this one to get the actual segment, orange segment at the bottom.
So when they say a segment, I use that formula.
Yes, or if they might draw a picture
So we
and it looks like a segment.
don't get that in the exam.
That's not given in the exam now.
Okay. Oh, those formulas.
No, this one at the bottom's not given in the
So we
exam.
get
This one at the top's not given in the exam.
Then
How are you supposed to know it by
No, pero
understanding how the
el de
question
arriba
works?
sí, el de arriba te sale.
Ha dicho que no.
No, pero te sale en la misma cosa que yo he utilizado, es la que ha utilizado el arco.
¿Pero
dónde está? El arco es la primera parte, lo único que tienes que recordar es que si te está pidiendo un segment tienes que añadir más 2R. Hay un perimeter, solo tienes que añadir el 2R, que son los dos sides. Estás utilizando la del arco, pero añadiendo 2R para hacer la del perímetro, ya está.
Eso me lo pone aquí. Ah, esto, ¿no?
No, pero sí, el arco existe. Lo único que tienes que añadir es ahí un más 2R, que es para hacer el perímetro. Pero siempre estás añadiendo las líneas rectas.
¿Y el otro es este?
No,
Ah, no,
el otro es el único donde está la... Bueno, la de abajo también está, lo único que tienes que recordar es uno dividido entre
When
A
this
y
sector
menos B.
formula is given, yeah?
Ah,
Yeah,
bueno, mira,
so-
sí está, ahora listo.
Oh, and
Lo único que
Nikolai.
tienes que hacer es
Yeah.
este. Mira,
This formula, this
Uh-huh.
part of the formula is given, and this part of the formula is given, but you have to know to minus this one from this one.
Okay.
A, B, C.
Sí, está, entonces. Sí, está.
Ah, no, el C.
51.
no.
El C.
We're given a length of an arc, and we get an area of a
Bueno,
sector.
AB, bueno, pues la añado.
Exactly. The
Pero
segment
está-
formula,
That's in 3.4.
Bueno,
let's have a look.
No, but you have area of a sector.
Is that not what we're on about?
Which one
No,
are you
we're
talking
in
about, the
segment.
top one or the bottom?
Bottom
The
one.
segment is part of it, yes. The segment, effectively, is sector.
Oh, segment. I thought
The
you were
segment is sector minus triangle. So actually, all you need to remember is sector minus triangle. And then you just substitute the relevant
See,
things
the
in.
means for the...
That's sector, that's
I
triangle.
thought about joining these two, and they give me the second one, but then I realized it's ABC, and this one is only AB. Using this one plus this one,
Yeah.
that is that one, but we're missing a C there.
No, that's fine. That's A, B, sine, C. That is how you find the eye. The
Oh,
area
so
of the
I
triangle.
joined these two and I
Yes,
add the
yes,
second
segment,
one.
yes, but minus that one, minus that one
Yeah.
is the segment. And A is the radius, B is the radius.
Okay.
Right. Just to let you know, in the exam you could have a problem where you're given 7, 6, 16 and 30. How are you going to find, let's say,
That's 90 degrees.
how are you going to find this
Really?
angle? What would you have to do?
You have to subtract 180 to the other. you have to find first.
The angle from the right.
Yeah.
Means if you have an
Yeah, you need to see the opposite angle is 30.
Yeah.
No, the one below that one.
Yeah.
I would find that.
How would you find that?
Using
do a bit of,
no. You
cos.
have to do
sine.
16 and 7 minus the whole thing, right?
no, you find that one and then you know it's 360 and you do.
You're along the right lines. No one's got it yet.
You have to do
No,
the
no.
that side, right?
Yes, you have to do the side.
That's
You
what
have
I'm
to
saying.
do the side using the cosine rule, which is this rule here, and then you have to apply. Then you have to apply trigonometry. Why do we then apply trigonometry after we've
It's a right angle.
So right angle, that's a non-right angle. You look at them separately. You look at that one first, and then once you've worked out that one, you work out the next problem. If you don't know how to do star in the exam, guess and then do the next part of the problem. You'll get method marks. If you do the steps right, you'll get marks for the next bit. There's one more key thing to do with elevation and depression.
Yes, would that be 4 as well? That line.
Which line?
The star line.
No, because that's going to be hypotenuse. It's got to be bigger than 4. You
Yes,
apply
but the line-
cosine.
But how do I do hypotenuse if I only know the 4? I don't know other numbers.
So there's
Yeah, but you
two
can find
there's
out.
two triangles. There's a triangle on the left and the triangle on the right. You have to see which triangle can help you out. For a non-right angled triangle, you need 3 bits of information to find the 4th. For a right angled triangle, you need 2 bits of information to find the 3rd. So because we've got 3 bits of information, you apply this formula to find star, and then once you've found star, you're going to apply SOHCAHTOA to find the angle. So you'd have to apply a trig and cosine twice. There's one more key thing to do with trig, and then we're going to do Pearson's. We might do that quick trick for volume another lesson. So there's something called angle of elevation and depression. We talked about this briefly. Depression is if you want to jump off a cliff. No, sorry. So that means you're looking down. So if you're at the top of a lighthouse and you're looking down, basically it's going to be the angle of depression will be the angle from here to the triangle. That would be the angle of depression. It's from the horizontal down to the line. Whereas the angle of elevation is the one looking up. If you're standing here and you're looking up with your eyes, it's going to be the eyes looking up. The angle
So
of
depression is outside the triangle.
yes,
And
elevation is
inside.
yes, normally, because they could draw it to yes, that's normally the case. It's not always the case. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh my god.
That's fine, I'm holding on the table. Did he move?
We've still got 6 minutes. I'm going to do a bit on Pearson's now.
There's 3 minutes.
We've got 4.
And I'm on the bus, so like I really can't
Okay,
do it.
well we're going to do 4 minutes then, because Sarah wants to do Pearson's.
Means it's okay. If
We're gonna do it tomorrow.
They can leave.
Sarah, we'll batter you.
No, sí, chicos.
Además no siempre viéndola.
Yo, tío, te lo
But
doy
when you have
a
more time on Christmas, this is honestly like, because this is really hard for me. Like I'm not gonna understand it in 4 minutes, to be honest.
Okay, we'll talk. We need to talk about whether you're coming tomorrow or not. Okay,
I think I will.
for Pearson's can be called a load of things. Pearson, correlation coefficient, or R. Pearson, correlation coefficient, or R are all the same thing. Yeah? Pearson can either be positive, negative, it could be weak, where it's not close to the line, or it can be strong.
So it's strong if it
If it's
basically
together.
are one.
Yes, fantastic. This is a strong positive. A lot of you did this for your IAs, should be coming back. This is a strong negative.
Yeah, but the thing is,
No, it's like I understand it, but I don't understand it in the exam.
I did the method like without calculator.
Yeah?
So I don't know how to do it. with
Okay.
calculator. That's the thing I was asking.
Those are the steps with the calculator.
No,
Yeah,
no,
okay.
no,
Practice question.
Fue muy bueno. Fue muy bueno.
¿Entra o no entra?
Nikolai, would you want to come in maybe for an hour? Or 2. Tomorrow, just you
No,
and
estos son
me.
los pasos de cómo hacerlo.
You, me and Lance.
Is Lance coming?
I don't know. He's not in today.
I'm gonna talk to him, I don't know, then I'll text you because or I
He's
come alone or I don't know, I come
He's got
with
the
him,
fit.
but,
Can you
I'm gonna
leave?
stay for the 5 hours because I don't wanna miss out on anything.
Okay.
So I can do an hour with you, the other hours with the rest, or I can do everything with the rest. I don't
Okay,
know.
you're easy with either option, are you?
Huh?
You're easy with either option.
Yeah, because I mean, as long as the content's the same, I don't really mind.
Is it actually 4? Why are we rushing off? I don't think it is.
Time, no?
58 it is on my computer.
Miss.
The worksheet I've just given you, again, that's from the practice paper. So, on the green here, this gives you the steps on how to do it on the calculator.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Yeah.
About the homework you sent for the 2 weeks, for Easter.
Yeah.
I didn't find any place to upload.
It was on Manage Back.
Yeah, but I tried.
Oh, it's fine. Did you do the homework?
Yeah.
That's fine. I think it's because on the day I changed it to upload,
The problem.
and then I probably changed it too late and you hadn't had a chance to upload it. So don't worry, as long as you've done it, that's good, because that's the hardest kind of topic.
Okay.
I've been speaking with Miss Diaz, and there are some topics we're not going to be able to cover in the next week. Obviously, if you go tomorrow, you're going to be able to cover most of the topics.
Miss, can you tell us what topic are you doing so the other ones we can revise them at home?
Yes.
Yeah, that's also kind of true.
Yes. I am planning on doing arithmetic and geometric sequences,
Good.
finance,
Oh, finance, yes.
integration and differentiation on the additional lesson,
That's easy.
hypothesis testing.
Yes.
But I'm not probably doing probability. I'm not doing inverse and proportion. I'm not doing the trapezium rule. There'll be some topics I can't do.
Okay.
I haven't got time. I'm really. All right.
Famous.
And if I come tomorrow, can I cover?
Is it definitely 10 o'clock tomorrow?
Yes, I'm coming.
Okay. And is it what time is it finished, Sarah?
Fine,
Uh,
thank you.
Thank you.
Is Loreto set at
2.
2?
So 10 till 2, Nikolai. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll organize myself, but
Okay.
are we
So,
gonna cover all the topics tomorrow?
I think I don't know what Miss Diaz is
Or
covering.
I think there's gonna be another Saturday session as well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna speak to her now.
Yeah,
But yeah,
perfect.
I'll do